Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Chase. Hope everyone is having a great day. So today we will cover Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'll recap my recent trades. Some people like that. It's not to brag. It's to try to show you guys sort of what goes into a successful trade. All these trades that I'll show you were publicly called on Twitter live. Okay, they weren't hindsight or anything. I'll cover AVAX. I'll cover the Bitcoin call I made after that, and then I'll cover the ETH call I made after that. Okay, we'll also discuss upcoming trade opportunities for Bitcoin and ETH, just general analysis and whatnot. And then our discussion of the day will be, what does it take to quote unquote make it? Because crypto Twitter is a place where wealth is obviously very glorified, but there is a more simple road that I think people can, aspire to, where you can still be quite comfortable and happy, and maybe it requires a little bit less risk, a more stable path. Yeah, we'll talk about all that. As usual, these videos are sponsored by Prime XBT. Check out my links at the bottom. No KYC, and you get a deposit bonus to use to trade if you type in my promo code before you deposit. Okay. Thank you very much, and let's get into it. So, first things first, let's go to, should we do the trades first, or do we? Yeah, we'll do the trade recaps first, okay? So the first trade I had posted on CT was just a simple AVAX bounce, and we'll cover that. So, debating if I want to delete everything or not. No, I think I'll leave this stuff up. Look, it was very simple, right? AVAX had broke up, right? AVAX had broke upwards, and we were around 50 to 55, and I said there's a potential for a retest of the blue box. Everybody said no, definitely not. I said okay, so I played the AVAX ecosystem within this area, right? You guys were all there for that. Once we started pushing above this area right here, previous major resistance. Once we pushed through here, started playing the smaller AVAX ecosystem coins, did about a 4x in the ecosystem while it was in this area. Okay, so that area was like the ecosystem 4x. Then things sold off a little bit. That is when we finally got our retest of the weekly level, right? So just big down move here, right? So resistance flips to support, perfect tap. Okay, long that right there. You could take this weekly level right here on the closes of the bodies, or you could take the origin of the impulse down on the weekly, which is right here. Either way, you hit basically perfectly to the pip. Still have this long trade open, and still have some spot as well. Honestly, I'm looking for, unless the overall crypto markets pull back, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm eventually looking for consolidation in here. You never know. You could sweep a little bit or something. There still is more support down there that's untested. But eventually, I'm looking to flip these highs into a support level, something like this. We come up, more consolidation, blah, blah, blah. We come up, we retest, and I'm looking towards 100. Okay, just a simple round number. I'll definitely be taking profit as we head in towards high 70s, take more in the 80s, take more in the 90s, be 75 to 80% closed by the hundreds. I think the nice round number target is good. It's just price discovery, no one can say how high it could go. It could go to 200, it could go to 300. I have no idea, but I do know that I'm going to at least lock in some profit on a high cap, or a higher cap, so to say, when it gets to 2x from here, 2.5, 3x from here. Okay, so that was the first one. Move forward to Bitcoin. Okay, the next Bitcoin trade was a long. I saw a downtrend on the lower time frames into a previous support level. Okay, I like trades that have a strong invalidation behind them. Let me explain. If AVAX dumped through this level, okay, that's bearish. Okay, you have like basically void price action all in here, probably just right back down towards here, and you have a major level here that should flip from resistance to support, which it did. Okay, if you look at Bitcoin, you had a major support cluster here, right? if it broke down through here as it came down, and not to mention that you had sort of a, wedge type channel thing that sort of guided you here, and you could see when it broke past it. But if it broke down through here, look at what you have. You have this whole void area right here, okay? So breaking down through here would obviously be pretty bearish until blue. So that's a strong invalidation for me, okay? So we can see break below, strong invalidation. All you have to do is have your stop right down here, because in my opinion, if it goes through here, it's going down and filling the void. Once again, Bitcoin, if it breaks down through here, in my opinion, it's filling this void, okay? So, and typically you don't get void fills unless the whole type of, unless your stance on the market has changed from, bearish to bullish, or bullish to bearish, whatever you want to say. But typically you won't fill these type of moves unless the environment has changed, okay? So this one was pretty simple. Like I said, price was coming down in that type of channel. We retested the support level. I mean, you don't have to be super precise with your levels, right? Just look for the 4 hour. Boom, you can see 4 hour closes right here. Okay, you could have longed the 4 hour level. What I did was I watched it test the 4 hour level. Then I saw this sweep right here. Once I saw the sweep and the reclaim right in here somewhere was where I got long. Okay, so it came down. It tested this support level, right? Sweeped it here, and it closed back in here. This is your entry point, okay? And where do we target? We target highs of the consolidation, right? So this was that downtrend consolidation, right? And we target the highs of those, okay? Hopefully that makes sense for Bitcoin. Okay, moving forward towards ETH. ETH, this one was, sometimes I just start to get into a rhythm. And when I get into a rhythm, you start to develop more confidence, and you develop a feel for the market through trading. Okay, technical analysis is not going to be the end all. Your gut is not going to be the end all. But when you can combine those two, you could typically get a pretty good read on things, as long as you're quote unquote in the zone. And lately I've been in the zone, so. That's all I can really say. How did I have this marked out before? Let's mark it out like that. So I didn't have this, I didn't have this, I didn't have this, I didn't have this. I had this high marked. Okay, and what I was saying was, people were trying to see this high flipped for flip to support and go. But I've seen this so many times on these reconsolidations, is that you get a retest of the support level, okay? You don't get a sweep of everything because it's actually bullish, so everyone front runs that sweep, right? That's why they buy the previous support level that hasn't been tested yet, right? So support, it was tested. This is the untested support right here. So this is the level. This is the low, the obvious low of the consolidation, and this is how you bait in your longers, okay? If you literally go to my Twitter, right, and you'll see the live call. Right here was when I put out the tweet. And I said, here's what it's going to do. It's going to go up. Everyone's going to say, oh my God, breakout right here. I said, oh my God, breakout right here. Then it's going to dump right into this level, and boom, it's going to go. And that's exactly what happened, and took profit basically right at the top. I think I hit it at like 40.33, but it doesn't show it on Coinbase, but it did go higher on the exchange I was using. So this one is difficult for me to really give you a solid explanation, because this was more gut call than technical analysis. And now you can see how it's a little bit of both. I had a feeling that it was going to fake out and retest in this consolidation, okay? We knew it was bullish consolidation, right? Because look, it just starts legging, okay? Huge consolidation, leg. We knew this was going to consolidate, and where was this going to consolidate? It was obviously going to go upwards. So boom, leg, you had to stop out people real quick that were getting greedy, okay? And right into support level, buy, go. All right, 1 second here. All right, so what's coming up? I'll keep it simple. For ETH, here's what my gut is saying for ETH. I don't really have a solid read on Ethereum from a technical standpoint. We have daily resistance, okay? So right here we can see daily closes, rejection, daily resistance. If we get up to here, I do expect some type of rejection. I don't think we plow through just right away. So I do think this leg is sort of coming to a stall, and we may see consolidation around here. Maybe some type of a retracement. Maybe not fully all the way down, but once again, not sure yet with the technical side of things. As far as what my gut thinks right now and how I would, try to confirm it. Typically, when you have these very obvious SR flips, right? We could see 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times tested as resistance. You would expect it to flip to support. And typically what I've found is that these have been low hit rate recently, and that it typically goes through and retests the mid-range or something of the sort. Now, we did see a little bounce here. That's because, participants are still quite bullish, in my opinion, so it's probably just it's a snap buy, right? But here's what I think. I think we probably do some type of a fake out breakout here. Could totally break out, right? But I'm just going off my gut right now. And then I think we come back down, chop along the trend line, and eventually break down and come into here where I originally imagined we would go, which should stop out all the people who long this level, because they think it should just be an instant SR flip. We round about, blah, 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 and we get towards 40.80. So a retest of this level I'll definitely be watching for a long scenario. Unfortunately, I can't play this breakout if it does do that. Yeah, I think it's legged enough for me, and I'm not looking to put, more chips into the long basket at this point. Still holding some spot and whatnot, perfectly fine, but not looking to take any specific trades out of this breakout. Even though we do have a nice consolidation here downwards, and if it does break upwards, you would think it could be clean, but I don't know. My gut's telling me just to stay on the sideline and see if it comes down and test this level. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just, this is now an area, I put out a tweet before, this is an area of just lower confidence for me. I'm no longer as confident as I was. The AVAX trade, that was a lock. I was very confident in it. The Bitcoin trade, that was pretty much a lock. I was confident in it. This ETH trade, just, it was sort of a stink bid. Right, I said, I'm going to leave some stink bids in here, but I sort of had the feeling it was coming. And once again, look, big void to fill if it failed. Obvious invalidation point, okay? You didn't have to put your stop too far on this one. I think I got 5 or 6 R out of this one. You didn't have to put your stop too far, and once again, it's another one of those trades where if invalidated, it means the market is shifting. The sentiment is shifting, or the price action is shifting, whatever you want to say. So I like trades where they have those big invalidations. Not seeing anything like that right here. So just have a lower confidence for this move. Not sure yet. We will see though. Bitcoin, simple. Let's move to the daily. If we do come down and we break down, blue box is a buy. We'll be watching that, see what happens in there. As far as upside goes, we're sort of seeing the consolidation. Sort of how ETH did in here. We do have an SFP into resistance here. Probably meaningless, obviously. We're seeing a lot of tight consolidation right below resistance. I would not be surprised if we broke through and started legging towards 56K. Would not be surprised. This is the final point of resistance here, basically. We could see the breakdown sort of originated from here. We come up, we test it, we reject. We test it, we reject. If we flip this area to support, that's a buy in my opinion, and we go target towards 56, maybe 55.8, somewhere around there. Yeah, we could probably refine this a little bit, something like this, 55.9. Okay, so definitely watching for that on Bitcoin. That is pretty, a pretty simple one. Besides that, looking at the lows, Bitcoin's in a lot of, or looking at this support level here, Bitcoin's had a lot of consolidation lately. So I don't think, on the lower time frame, ETH looks like it has better opportunities, just more volatile, whereas Bitcoin's been sort of just, pretty stagnant, pretty choppy in here, not extremely clean. Okay, so really just looking for the higher time frame trades on Bitcoin right now and using Ethereum for the lower time frame trades. Although this will be a good opportunity if this flips to support. Definitely keeping an eye on this. And then if it does start lagging, that's where you can start looking for low time frame trades on Bitcoin, right? Because you push through here, okay, now you're going to have volatility. You're going to have consolidation, lag, consolidation, lag, just like you saw Ethereum do, okay? So once you get into here, you start looking for low time frame trades on Bitcoin because it should be moving with some type of, ferocity, so to say. And why? Because look, we'll be, clearing this whole void area right here, right up, elevator down, elevator up, pretty much. If you go down that quick, you're typically going to go up pretty quick. So something to watch there. All right. And now for the discussion part. I think this week's is pretty simple. I was just personally thinking about some things. Like, I've had some really good trading days recently, and I think I'm 4 for 4 or something in the past 5 days or something. And I just realized, like, it's so, for me, it's like very unnecessary. It's great. I'm saving wealth and money for the future and whatnot. But I've realized that, pretend you needed $100,000 a year in order to live, which is probably a bit excessive for most, right? I think the number is something like all you need is like you'd only have to make like $270 a day or something. And then you'd have $100K a year if you made $265 a day. So, like, you see people talking about, like, $20,000 days and whatnot, and some people even talk about 6 or 7 figure days and whatnot, and it's great. It's a completely different lifestyle when you're able to do that. I mean, you can buy, you can have a huge mansion and a bunch of cars and a boat and whatever else you want to have. But for the people starting in crypto, or the people that aren't as fortunate to have all the experience, or have been through the bull runs, or maybe they didn't successfully navigate the bull run, and you got 10K or 20K in your account. I think the point is that you could risk $100. Say your account has 20K in it, and you risk something like $70 or $100 a day, and you're taking 2 to 3 risk reward trades. We've talked about this before, risk reward. We typically want to aim for 2 to 3 risk reward. So if you're taking a 2 to 3 risk reward trade, and you're trying to make, and I'm not saying this should be a goal of yours. You shouldn't set a amount to make a day, right? That's not how you want to do it. You want to just trade when trades are good. But the point is that I think a lot of people are are putting too much exaggeration on what they need to make to actually be in a good situation for themselves. You only need to win a couple trades here and there, each month, depending on how much you're risking, or each week, depending on how much you're risking. You can be risking small amounts and still end up, making, averaging out to, $150, $200, $300 a day or something. And all of a sudden you're making $100K a year. So you don't need to be winning 7K every single day or anything like that in order to, quote unquote, make it. You can afford, your own apartment and your car and your utilities, and live a perfectly happy life, financially, quote unquote, comfortable, without having to risk $2,000 on every single trade. Okay, so it's all relative, right? There's people who can 100% risk, who knows? They can risk whatever they want. They can risk $100,000 a trade. They could risk $1 million a trade. I don't know. Maybe they have $1 billion. It really doesn't matter. But you're also going to have your smaller fish who, only want to risk, $20 a trade. Someone really small, someone just starting out. You're just learning how to trade. It's your first year ever trading. You have $4,000 in an account. Just risk $20 a trade and aim for 2 to 3 risk reward. All of a sudden you're making $60 every other day, and that's going to add up. All of a sudden you're making whatever, 30K a year or something, 40K a year. So it may not be enough to support you and a family or something of that nature, but then again, if you're 35 years old, or you're 30 years old and you're just starting to trade, you should probably know that it's not going to be your sole income or something of that nature. I'm really sort of talking to the people who are a bit younger here and just starting their journey. Don't think that you need to be some type of a, millionaire to, do well each and every day, or do well when the market conditions are suited for you. And also make sure that you're using smaller quantities of risk while you're getting to that point where you're still learning technical analysis, while you're still getting your gut feel, while you're gaining experience. Once you make it past that 2 to 3 year mark and you're starting to develop more confidence, you can look to up your size over time and really, obviously you can be upping your size from the beginning slowly but surely as you gain confidence. Don't get over cocky though and lose it all. That's, what only a foolish person would do. You got to make sure you stay within your risk limitations. I have a portfolio management video and some other stuff. You just got to look back in my YouTube videos. Probably just type in like crypto chase portfolio management, stuff like that, or risk something. There's lots of videos that I've made about that kind of topic. But yeah, that's really it. Just wanted to cover that and just make it seem more realistic, because I know how CT is. You see people making 6 figures, 7 figures, 5 figures in a couple minutes. But they're few and far between. And for people who are just starting out, understand that you can still do well, and you can still quote unquote make it by starting small, starting slow, and building over time. It's not like you're going to be making breadcrumbs. You can risk $100 each trade and still do well for the year. Still be making more than a majority of people from first world countries, so to say. If you're making, who knows, but if you're making 60, 70, 100K a year, all of a sudden you're making more than a large majority of the population. And that's just by doing 2 to 3 risk reward trades, and not even risking that crazy of amounts. And obviously you'd have to have a really high hit rate. I also don't want to make it seem like it's something that's extremely easy to do. I just want you to try to find the balance. Okay, try to find the balance where you can gain experience and you can learn to where you don't need my videos anymore, and that's really when you're moving on your own and you should be deciding how to handle your risk and whatnot. But hopefully that's a good reminder just for people. Bring it back to a level surface, and hopefully helpful. Alright, so thanks very much everybody. Again, links at the bottom, Prime XBT, check them out. Thank you, and I will see you next week.